Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts video. This is going to be an update video. I'm going to have a couple of different shout outs in this video as well. And I hope that you guys will check the links below and sub, and also check out the storefront on the secondary market from a seller I'm going to talk about later in this video. But I'm joined by the ladies, Miss Heidi on the left, Miss Hannah front and center. So today I have a little stack of goodies here in the corner. These are all from thrift shop purchases. I have a couple of box sets that I picked up on Amazon. I got a little stack here from Disney, the Disney Movie Club. Got a couple of out-of-print titles from Scream Factory that I needed for the collection. I got a VHS tape that I ordered online. I got a little stack of goodies from a seller I'm going to tell you guys about. And I have a couple of horror figures. I have a couple of graded comics. And I have a nice little stack of vintage horror magazines from 60s, 70s, and 80s. So stick around. Stay tuned for all this stuff. We'll talk about it. Get yourself a beverage and a snack. Kick your feet up, light a candle, and let's chill. Let's check out this little stack of goodies here. So I moved a couple of things off the bed just to make a little room. I put it down here on the floor. We will get to those. Just wanted to create a little space here for myself. Make it a little more comfortable. So I think we'll go through the thrift shop stuff first because I can kind of blaze through this. I'll go quick. I have a couple of Disney titles that I'm going to add to the collection. I got these at the Value Village, it's called, in the city that I live in. And on certain days they have half off, and usually they have VHS tapes for $1. And when they're half off, obviously they're 50 cents, so I picked these up. This is called Walt Disney Cartoon Classics, Mickey and the Gang. It looks like it has some writing from somebody named JD. This is volume number 11. Thought it was pretty cool. I like to add Disney stuff to my collection whenever possible, so I grabbed it and I put it in one of those little plastic protectors to keep it preserved so it doesn't get banged up or nicked up. I also picked up So Dear to My Heart in the clamshell. I do have this already, but I grabbed it again. This one is not as easy to find. It's not rare. It's not valuable or expensive or anything like that, but you don't see it out very often, so I grabbed it. It looks like it was maybe a former rental. I don't know if you can see that. The flash is really washing out that white, but there's a tag at the top with tape. It says A-9, but it's in really, really good condition. So I picked it up. So those were the two Disney VHS tapes. I also picked up quite a bit of John Wayne. And somebody must have recently dropped a bunch of their John Wayne collection off because there was quite a bit of it there. So I'll go through this really quick. These are all VHS tapes, and this is John Wayne in The Trail Beyond. And these are all in really, really good condition. I put them in the plastic cases. This is from Good Times Home Video, and this was released on VHS back in 1987. The movie itself is from 1934. It's black and white. It's only 55 minutes long. It's one of the Duke's early works. I got a classic here called Chisholm. I think I have this one already. I know I have it on DVD, and I think I have it on Blu-ray as well. I think this is my second copy on VHS, but it was such a nice, pristine copy. I wanted to grab it. And again, these were all 50 cents a piece, so doesn't hurt to have doubles, because you can always help somebody out if they're looking for a certain title in their collection. If you have a double of it, you can trade it or gift it to them. So this is a good movie. Forrest Tucker is also in here. Christopher George, he was also a great actor. So another one of John Wayne's very earliest pictures. This one's called Blue Steel. Look how young he looks in that picture. Gabby Hayes is also in here as well. This was from, looks like it says Burbank Video at one time. It's another very short movie. It's 54 minutes running time. And I'm trying to see if I can find a release date. Well, it was released on VHS in 1986, but I don't see a date when the original movie came out. Here's Tall in the Saddle. It's called a REO Color Classic. Color enhanced from RKO Studios. Turner Home Entertainment. This one also has Gabby Hayes, as you see on the cover. They did several movies together. This tape came out in 1992. And it looks like the original movie came out in 1944. Right during World War II. Here's John Wayne in Sagebrush Trail. Really nice condition again. Good Times home video. It came out in 1987. The movie is from 1933. 53 minutes running time. The Dawn Rider. Came out in 1987. It's a movie from 1935. 56 minutes running time. Here's a classic. I love this movie. Dean Martin is also in the movie with John Wayne, called The Sons of Katie Elder. And John Wayne and the Duke did a couple of movies together. They did another one of my favorites called Rio Bravo, which is an excellent Western. One of the best ever, I think. And this movie came out in 1965. And it was, looks like it was put out on VHS in 1993. Really glad to have that one. And then there was another copy of it. It's a little bit different. It's the same exact movie, just has different packaging. And I figured for 50 cents, I grabbed it. So somebody definitely turned in their John Wayne collection, and I'm glad to have it in mine. So I will pause it here, and we'll move on to the stack of DVDs that I got at the thrift shop. Okay, before I get into this little pile here of DVDs, I do want to give a shout out to a gentleman. I've been watching his channel a lot lately. And I shouted him out about a week or two ago, and I would like to see him get more subscribers. He has a channel where he shows a lot of like vintage toys, comic books of all different, golden age, silver age, and he's very entertaining. He lives in San Francisco, and sometimes he takes walks down to the beach and has like a little walk and talk. I really enjoy his channel. His name is Meyer. I'm going to leave his link down below. I want to encourage you guys to please go check it out. It's free to subscribe. Go show a little support. I would like to see him get more subscribers. So check that link below, and there's also going to be another link below his for this little stack of goodies that I'm going to show in a little bit. So check that link out too as well. So, all right, let's get into this little stack here of DVDs. Some of these I picked up at the Value Village and somewhere at a Goodwill. So this first little set here was $2, and this is the franchise collection of the Best of Abbott and Costello. This is volume 4, and you get 6 classic movies. So you get Abbott and Costello meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, meet the Keystone Cops, meet the Mummy, The World of Abbott and Costello, meet Jerry Seinfeld, and meet the Monsters. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with Meet Jerry Seinfeld, but I'm looking forward to checking this out. It's a really nice collection. It looks like it's never been opened. It comes in this digipack style packaging. I guess I'm not going to pull it out. Let's see if I can get it with one hand. But it's in really, really good condition. And I thought for $2 you get 6 movies. That's a good enough deal for me to grab it. So yeah, that's that. I also got, and you may notice that there's writing on the box. That was just, it's written on there with a dry erase marker, so you can take a tissue and just wipe that off. I just haven't done it yet. I wish they wouldn't do that, because even if you take a tissue and gently wipe that off, it still leaves kind of a smudge on the box, and that light green is going to definitely pick up a smudge. So same place, Value Village. I picked up the collector's edition 200 classic cartoons. You can see all some of those old legends. So this was a set that was put out by Mill Creek. It's a 4-disc set. So you get Betty Boop, Popeye, Mr. Bang, Katrinka and the Skipper, Casper, Gabby, Little Audrey, Mr. Piper, the Three Stooges, Little Lulu, Tom and Jerry, and many others. I'm not going to name them all. Some of my favorites from here were Popeye. I liked Mighty Mouse quite a bit. The discs are stacked on top of each other, which is not ideal, but what are you going to do? Okay, moving on. I just sneezed, so I had to pause it really quick. I don't want to blow anybody's eardrums out in case people are listening with headphones on. This was a Laurel and Hardy 2 DVD set, and you get 14 episodes of over 5 hours of entertainment from these two classic legends of comedy. And this is still sealed. It's never been opened before. So the first disc you get 8 episodes, and the second disc you get 6 episodes. And again, for the price, I thought it was good to add some of this classic comedy to my collection. So it will go well with the Abbott and Costello and the Three Stooges, which I have all that stuff. So next one was a childhood favorite of mine. I'm going to switch this case out and put it in a better case. It looks like it was a former rental at some point. But this is The Wind in the Willows, the movie, based on the classic novel. And this came out on DVD in 1998. I thought the cartoon was much earlier than that. I was thinking this was like in mid to late 70s even. I'm not sure. But it looks like it was a former rental from Forest City Public Library in Forest City, Iowa, which I don't even live in Iowa, so it just shows you how far some of this used stuff travels. But I live in the state of Wisconsin, but I'm glad to have that in the collection, and it looks really good. I'm just going to switch the case out. I may leave that little envelope with that just as part of the history of it, as like a little insert. So these, let's see, I think this next pile here is all from Goodwill. Okay, so all the rest of these now are from Goodwill. And if you follow my channel, if you followed it for a while, you'll know that I do love these multi-packs, these horror compilation box sets. And I have quite a collection of them, so when I see some of these, I grab them if I don't have them. And that's the case here. I have a couple that I found that I didn't have already. I think one of them I do, but I grabbed another one anyway, just in case, because the price was right. This is a big fat pack. This is how they used to come out way back when DVD was first released. And they have since slimmed it way down. So they have a regular Amaray case with a swing tray or two, and they can have like 3 or 4 discs in a regular case. But so this one has some really good movies in it. You get Kill Baby Kill, Devil's Nightmare, God Told Me To, Good Against Evil, Pieces, Kiss Me, Kill Me, Satan's School for Girls, The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave, Kathy's Curse, and The Ghost. And these came on kind of sort of swing trays, I guess, but they're flipper discs. They just kind of come in these multi-swing trays. So, and everything looked clean. The discs looked like mirrors. There was no scratches or blemishes or fingerprints or anything. So I thought that was a really good deal. I think the DVDs were $2 a piece, and I didn't get any Blu-rays that particular time I went, so there's nothing here that's a Blu-ray. But I have He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Origins, the first 10 episodes. This one is still sealed. It kind of comes in a fat pack too. And I had this already in a slim pack, but I wanted to grab this. It was still sealed. I thought it was a nice little collectible for $2. It's hard to walk away from that. Now this one I do believe I own. This is a 4-movie collection called Horror Rises from the Grave, and you get Horror Rises from the Tomb, Zombie Flesh Eater, Zombie Hell House, and Night of the Ghoul. And these are Peter Cushing movies, or he's in some of them. Another fat pack with swing trays. And then it comes with a little advertising insert here for some of the other editions that you could collect if you choose to. I really enjoy these multi-packs, so I like to collect them. The next one is also a movie I have already on many different formats, and I had the same DVD, but I bought it again because it was only $2. It's out of print. This is the Anchor Bay release of Day of the Dead. This has been out of print for a long, long time, and it came with the insert. For $2, I grabbed it. I feel like I'm saving it when I go out there and I find it, and it's like, oh, you got to come home with me. Come on, bud. I got a home for you. Here's another one I have already. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre DVD Steelbook. This one was still sealed. It doesn't have the cellophane on it, but it does have that little, I guess, security sticker at the top. And it's never been viewed, never been opened. For $2, I had to grab that. And here's a movie called Severed. I love that cover. I own this movie in a multi-pack, but I don't think I ever had the original standalone release of it, and I wanted to grab it. It says $6.99 on that sticker, but these were all at Goodwill for $2. I don't know what that sticker is from, but yeah, it was at a Goodwill for $2. And it looks like it's a good little splatter flick with some pretty good practical effects. And it came with the little insert on the back, has the chapter stops. Oh, I guess not. It just has, oh, there's the chapter stops right there on the front. And then on the back it advertises a couple other movies from Scream Media. And let me see if I can tell when this movie came out. It looks like it came out in 2004. Special effects makeup by the artists who brought you Scary Movie, Final Destination, Blade, and Freddy vs. Jason. I may pop that in tonight. What the heck? I did plan on watching some Italian giallo films tonight, but I might pop that in first. And I'm going to watch some of Meyer's videos tonight too. I recommend you guys do the same. I'd like to see you guys come together, do a solid favor for me, and sub to Meyer, help his channel grow a little bit, show some support. Here's another kind of a movie mix here. You got the Monster Movie Mix Horror Beyond the Grave, 12 films. Now these are in the kind of slim pack. And you know, they crammed a whole bunch of movies on one disc, so you know the quality is going to suffer. But you get The Corpse Vanishes, Night Fright, Killers from Space, Destination Space, The Passage Beyond, Blunder, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Tales of Frankenstein, Verdict from Space, Flash Gordon, Return from the Androids, Captain Zero, Meteor, and Johnny Jupiter. Now a lot of these are less than an hour long, so some of them are even a half hour long. So I'm not sure what to really expect out of these, but I will definitely give them a spin and check them out. And here's probably the grab of the whole day when I did go to that thrift shop. This was probably my best pickup there. This is a documentary called Nightmares in Red, White, and Blue, narrated by Lance Henriksen. This is the unrated documentary. It says it's the best documentary of its kind for years. I didn't even know this existed, and it's been out for a while, I guess. So you get a bunch of some of the legends. You get John Carpenter, Mick Garris, Joe Dante, Larry Cohen, George A. Romero, Roger Corman, Darian Lynn Boosman, and Brian Usna. This was put out by Lorber Films in 2010, it looks like. It's a comprehensive history of the making of American horror films that aim right straight for the jugular, it says. So yeah, I like to pop that in and check it out. Looks like it was a former rental or something. Family Video. And then it comes with a Kino Lorber, like a little pamphlet where you can order some of their titles. So that's pretty nice. And I don't know if this has a Blu-ray release. I may have to investigate that, but I'm just happy with the DVD. So I'm glad to grab that. And then here's kind of sort of an upgrade. I have the movie already, but I didn't have the slipcover. And this isn't in the greatest condition, but for the money I paid for it, for $2, I thought it was a good deal. And this movie's called It Waits. It's a movie, monster movie, creature feature, and it has a really cool cover. I don't know if you can tell, but the bloody mouth has kind of a glossy finish to it. And the monster itself is embossed, so you can kind of see the definition there, kind of popping through the slipcover there. I really love that. It's another Anchor Bay release. So for $2, I wanted to grab that. So that was it for the thrift shop haul, I guess. I'm going to put some stuff away and we'll continue. We'll go through some box sets. All right, before I get into the box sets, I want to actually do this first. This is a recent pickup from me from the secondary market. Not sure if some of you guys are frequent purchasers on a site called Mercari. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Kind of a fun little story to tell you, I guess. I was on there, and this is a Scream Factory title that I need for my collection, and I found it on Mercari, and I sent I think they were asking, I don't remember exactly what the price was. Okay, so they were asking a price for it. I shot them an offer. They declined that offer and shot me another offer, and I was kind of mulling it over. It was a good deal. It was a good price, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to pay that much for this. So I kind of let it go for about a day or so, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And so I get a message from the seller, and they say, "Are you the Todd E. Walnuts from YouTube?" Because obviously nobody's ever seen my face. Bigfoot claims he saw me once, but nobody believes him. But my name is Todd E. Walnuts on Mercari. So they recognized the name, asked me if I'm the same Todd E. Walnuts. I said, yes, I am. And they said, yes, they would like to entertain the offer I gave earlier. And I thought that was great. And I met a new friend. His name is Christopher, and his wife, her name is Tiva. So I'm going to link her down below. She has a great storefront on Mercari if you guys are looking for movies and stuff like that. I'm going to show you guys what I picked up from them, and I told them I would give them a shout out. I would be more than happy to give them a shout out and link their channel down below, because I would like to see them succeed, and I feel like I made a new friend, and that's a great thing. So I was able to get Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2 from Scream Factory. This is out of print, and it's pretty pricey. I mean, it's in the 30 range, 30 to 40 bucks. But they gave me a really good deal, and I thank you again, Christopher. I've been in touch with him now on Facebook Messenger. We've been kind of talking back and forth, and I told him today I would be recording a video, and I would love to give his wife a shout out. So thank you, Tiva. Thank you, Christopher. And you guys can go check that link below. I picked up some other cool stuff from them, though, too. I'm going to show you. I picked up the Arrow Video RoboCop box set. And even though I have the 4K Steelbook, I wanted this box set. It's beautiful. And they gave me a really, really good deal on this. It's in perfect, brand new condition. I have to mention, too, that when they shipped this to me, it was probably one of the best jobs of packing a box. Everything was so secure and safe, and it came in perfect condition. And you can tell that they are collectors, too. You can tell the people who are collectors by the way they ship things, and so thank you again for that, Christopher and Tiva. But here's the disc. Here is the advertising card for the Slaughterhouse 5. And you get a RoboCop sticker. Very nice. And you get some art cards as well. I love this movie. I grew up watching this movie. I've seen it many times. Saw it in the theater. Saw it on VHS. So I'm just going to kind of go through these quickly because I do have some more stuff to show. Really, really nice set. Oh, I'm dropping things here. Very nice. Very glad to add that to the collection. See if I can put these back one-handedly. All right, and then you have the director's cut on Blu-ray, and you have the theatrical cut on Blu-ray. And there's also a reversible cover. Let's see if we can show that. Here, I'm just gonna, actually, let's see. So it's basically, it's the same image that's on the box. So they flipped it already, and that's the way I like to do it also. I like to have two different covers for a little more of a variety. So beautiful edition. Kind of go over this box again really quick. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then it comes with a poster and a thick book. I would say this is probably 60, 70, almost 80 pages. Wow. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I will definitely kind of flip through here. So you get really nice photos, tons of write-ups about the film, everything that you would need as a fan of the movie to have in your collection. And I'm really, really glad to have this. It's beautiful. And the poster, I think it's a double-sided. I'm not going to stretch it out, but you do get the two different, so you get both of these covers for the poster. On one side it's this, and on the other side it's that. So let me pause it for a moment, put some of the stuff away, and then we'll get into the third box set that they sold to me. I should also mention, too, that when I was chatting with Christopher earlier today, he told me his wife is going to be listing a whole bunch of stuff on that website. So you guys may want to hop to it, check it out. And I'm going to be checking it out, too, believe that. So this is a box set I dragged my feet on, but I've wanted it for so long. And there was a nice set that came out probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago. It had the little Matchbox car of the Batmobile, and it was kind of a wider box set, but it was so expensive. And I would still like to get that at some point. I just don't know if I'm going to. But now I found this set. It's kind of a more compact set. This is the complete television series of Batman, and this is another show I grew up on. It was before my time, but it was in syndication for a long time when I was a kid, and I love these. These are so good. And hard to believe that this was only on TV for 3 years, for 3 seasons, but it was. And check out that box. Look at the colors. Everything looks so good. It's great. And of course, the show is from the 60s. There were always a ton of celebrities that wanted to be guest stars on the show or make an appearance on the show. So we got the episode guide. I'm going to kind of go through this quickly just because it's, I'm sure you guys have seen this before and I don't want to take up too much time, but this is so good. It's very glossy. The pages are thick. I love the coloring. The colors are great. And then you have a couple of digipacks. So there's Burgess Meredith. You have all the discs for season 1. Oh, Lee Merriweather. There's Egghead. Okay. So he did tell me that one of the spindles was not quite working. I think I can fix that though. It's an easy fix, and I wasn't concerned about that. The set's like brand new, so, and he gave me a great deal. And then here's season 3, the final season. There's the Joker. He was always my favorite villain. I still like the Joker the best. So what a beautiful set. So that was it. That was for that was my Mercari purchase from Christopher and Tiva. And I'm going to share the link down below so you can just click it and go directly to it. But her storefront is called SavedByStiva, T-I-V-A. SavedByStiva, all one word. But you won't have to worry about that because I'll link it below and all you have to do is click it and check it out. Thanks again, Christopher. Thank you, Tiva. Much appreciated. Okay, so I guess kind of staying on the same theme of Scream Factory titles that are out of print that I didn't have, that I grabbed. I picked up Attack of the Puppet People, which is out of print. Kind of hard to find, a little pricey. I mean, you can find it, but you're going to probably have to pay a little bit. Check that cover out, that's beautiful. I love these old movies from the 60s. And actually, this is from '58, so. I told this before many times on the channel, but when I was a kid, I didn't care much for black and white of anything. Movies. I did like the Three Stooges and the Little Rascals, and that was always black and white. But when it came to like black and white horror movies, I didn't really care much for it. But as I got older, I really, not only did I learn to appreciate it, but I actually love it now. So I love these old black and white movies. They're really, really good. And then I also picked up The Brain That Wouldn't Die. This is another one that's sold out of print. So I picked this one up new, still sealed, and this one was gently used, and it came in like a little protector sleeve here. So another sci-fi horror movie. I think this one's from the 50s or 60s as well. I'm trying to find it on the back. 1962, it looks like. And this was released by Scream Factory in 2015, so glad to add these two to the collection. I'm kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty now. There's not too many more that I need, but I'm going to try to get as many of them as I can. I'm not necessarily going to buy everything that Scream Factory releases. There's probably going to be a couple that I don't really need or want. But then if I can find them for a really good price, I may just grab them. So it's hard to say. But yep, those are the two that I added this past month. So I also picked up a couple of box sets, and I don't think I'm going to unbox them in this video, but rather if you guys would like to see these unboxed in a separate video, comment below, and if there's enough comments for that, if there's enough interest for it, I will definitely do a separate video for these. but this is the newest release of Rob Zombie's horror masterpiece, House of 1000 Corpses. This is the 20th anniversary edition, and yes, it's 20 years old already. Hard to believe. 2003 it came out. Nice little box set here that they put out. Nice thick heavy box. I haven't even opened it yet. I got this about a week ago. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And you get disc 1 is the director commentary, making of featurette, casting footage, rehearsal footage, cast and crew interviews, and theatrical trailers. And disc 2, you get inside, never before seen behind the scenes materials. So, what a great movie, great characters, and I think this is Rob Zombie's best movie, pretty much. And I picked up Violent Streets. This is a Severin box set. This was on sale on Amazon. It was about half off. I think I got it for $50. I think they were originally asking for $100 for the set, or maybe a little bit more, but I got it on Amazon for $49.99 about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this is Violent Streets, the Umberto Lenzi and Tomas Milian collection. So these are the movies that Umberto Lenzi directed and Tomas Milian starred in. These are the collaboration between those two gentlemen. So the 5 movies you get, these are gritty and gory and violent crime movies, Italian crime movies. You get Almost Human, you get Syndicate Sadists, Free Hand for a Tough Cop, The Cynic, The Rat, and The Fist, and Brothers Till We Die. And again, if you're interested in an unboxing, I will definitely do that. I can actually do these 3 boxes together. So again, if you're interested, make sure you comment below. Otherwise, if I don't see any interest for it, I'll just won't do it. And here's one I'm really interested in too. This one's called Magic, Myth, and Mutilation. This is the micro-budget cinema of Michael J. Murphy from 1967 to 2015. Containing the complete surviving works of Britain's great unheralded do-it-yourself auteur. This definitive, individually numbered 10-disc Blu-ray set collects an astonishing half-century of creative output. For the first time ever, these 26 films are presented newly restored and remastered using original film and tape materials held in the Murphy Archive, and are accompanied by a wealth of bonus materials and a 120-page book. So that is a mouthful, and look at all the bonus materials you get. And these were limited to 6,000. I have number 4157. So the movies you get, I don't know if you're going to be able to make that out, and if I get too close with my phone, it's probably going to wash out. So I'll try to read. It looks like print is so small. You get Tristan and Iseult, Happy Ever After, Secrets, Almost a Movie, The Cell, Stay, Death in the Family, Invitation to Hell, The Last Night, Quaylen, Bloodstream, Tristan, aka Legend of a Hero, Death Run, Avalon, Moonchild, Torment, Atlantis, Second Sight, Road to Nowhere, The Rite of Spring, Tristan, again, I don't know if that's a remake, because he has 2 movies called Tristan. And then you have Roxy, Scare, ZK3, Necros, and The Return of Alan Strange. I will admit I have never heard of any of those movies. I doubt that I've seen them. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, because there's probably some hidden gems in there, and I like to see things that I haven't seen before. So again, if you guys, broken record here, but if you guys are interested in seeing any of these unboxed, or all 3 of these unboxed, leave a comment down below, and if I get like, I don't know, 8 or 10 people that want to see them, I'll do it. Let me pause it here, put some stuff away, and we'll continue rolling along. Okay, I'll try to speed it up a little more here. I picked up Faces of Death, the original VHS in a clamshell from Gorgon Video. This was originally banned in 46 countries. If you guys remember this at all. It's a really nice copy of it. Glad to have that. And then we're going to have a kind of a strange transition here. So we're going to go from Faces of Death to Disney. All right. So these are the latest 2 Disney Movie Club exclusives. So you can only buy these on the Disney Movie Club website. So the first one here is the 70th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray DVD digital code of Peter Pan, and you can see it has the Movie Club exclusive logo. Really beautiful slipcover. It's you're probably not going to be able to tell on camera here, but the people at the bottom are embossed, so they're kind of sticking out a little bit, and the cover looks really nice. I really like that artwork. And the sword and the stone, and even though this is a Disney Movie Club exclusive, they don't have it marked anywhere on here. But this is the 60th Anniversary Blu-ray DVD digital code. Another beautiful cover, nice embossing. The title is embossed. It's kind of a glossy paint on there. It's really good. It's really beautiful. And it's a fun movie too. A couple more exclusives from the Disney Movie Club website. These are all DVDs now, these next 3, the last 3. This is a 2-movie collection called Mr. Boogedy and The Bride of Boogedy. These were 2 movies that were shown on the Disney Channel back in the, I believe, early 90s, maybe even late 80s. And they're kind of Halloween type. I wouldn't really call them horror movies because they're rated PG, but they're meant for kind of a scary viewing for small children. And there was an actor in here, the guy who played Bud Bundy, David something or other, Faustino, I think, David Faustino. He was kind of a young kid, or a younger kid in that series. And I picked up the DuckTales Volume 4 3-disc set. Includes all 25 episodes. It's the 3-disc anniversary edition. I was missing this one. I bought the first 3 volumes, I believe, at a Walmart like 10 or 15 years ago, and they never released Part 4 or Volume 4 until Disney Club did it. And this, I think it's been out now for at least a couple years. But they don't have a Blu-ray for it, so I got it on DVD, which is fine with me. I don't care. And then they had a sale. They're trying to blow these out as like a blowout sale. Some of these tins, they just want to get rid of them. And this is Oliver and Company 20th Anniversary Edition. Comes with the tin, and on the inside is the DVD. And I think I got this for under $10, which I thought was a good deal. And I was expecting it to have a ding or something in it, but it looks like it's pretty good. So yeah, they did right by me, man. It was really good. I really enjoy the Disney Movie Club. I think it's worth it, and I recommend it to you guys. So let me pause it, and we're going to keep rolling. Okay, we will get into the figures here, and then we'll just talk about a couple comic books and some magazines, and that's it. That'll be it for the video. Yeah, I told myself I wouldn't buy these. These are the Toonie Terrors by NECA. Let me see if I can get a better viewing here of Freddy Krueger. About a month or so ago, I picked up the Leatherface and the Jason Voorhees figure, and I really like them. I like the way they look. I didn't think I would, but I do. And now I picked up Freddy Krueger. I went into was it Walmart or Target? I don't remember. I think it was a Walmart. And I was looking for the Grady twins from The Shining, and they didn't have it, because I think I'm going to get that one too. But while I was there, I did see Freddy Krueger, and so I picked it up. It's not too bad, actually, and these are nicely priced, so you can get a piece of kind of background card if you want to cut that out, and you can pose Freddy in front of it to make it look like he's in front of a boiler room. I like to keep my figures packaged. And then here's another one I knew I was going to get eventually, and I grabbed it. This is the Creep Show Creep. This is the Ultimate Creep action figure. Comes in this nice display box. I have the other NECA Creep Show Creep that was kind of the rendition of the television show, but this is the actual classic Creeper from the 1982, I believe, horror anthology, 5 Jolting Tales of Horror, and this is the original Creeper. So there's a couple of different head sculpts. You get the one that's already on there. Look at those eyes. That looks really good. It's creepy. It's supposed to be, but that's beautiful. And then you can also get this head sculpt that looks like it's missing an eye, and looks like the other one's kind of popping out. And then there's a third sculpt with kind of the hair blowing up when the wind was blowing and it knocked the hood over. And then you get a little Creep Show comic that's figure sized that you can put in the hand of the creep. And I think that's a great idea, a nice touch. And then you get a pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern, I mean. And you get, is that a candle? I don't remember. Looks like it might be a candle. And then you have this kind of shroud, this white cloth. It almost looks like a burial shroud, and I think that's supposed to be what it resembles, because it is I guess an undead or kind of a zombie type figure. And you can see what it looks like if you pose it with different accessories. There's the magazine, and it looks like that's a candle with a flame, and there's where the hair is blowing. The most fun you'll ever have being scared. This is a great anthology, but I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. It's been out for 40 years now. So those were the 2 figures I grabbed. I like to collect figures. I think they're fun. They're a little pricey sometimes, but they're worth it. So I did get a couple of slabbed comics, and I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say I probably cut back, but I don't know what I'm going to do about these. They're very expensive. This is a rabbit hole that I'm going down. If you start buying slab comics, it gets very, very expensive. But this is a Miracle Man issue 1. This was a reprint or reissue from a 1990 magazine. And the original Miracle Man #1, this was the rebirth of Miracle Man, because the original series took place much sooner than 1990. It took place in the 70s, I think, or even earlier than that. I'm not sure. I don't know the whole history about Miracle Man, but in 1990, this book was released in a poly bag, and this was re-released, I think, in 2015. Am I right? I don't know. It looks like this is okay. I think I actually have that wrong. So this was a remake or a reissue. In 1990 they reissued this. In 2015 the cover artist signed it right down here. His name is Mark Buckingham. He signed it in 2015. So yeah, I got that all screwed up, but it's a cool book. It's a 9/8. There are only 7 9/8s on the census. There were no higher grades. This was only a $100 book. I bought it in May of 2023. I can keep myself little notes like that in case case these ever have to get sold if I'm not here anymore. So the next one is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 68. This was graded by CBCS, and it got a 9.4. But the big thing about this book is it was from the personal collection of Kevin Eastman, who was the creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was nothing about super in there. I mean, it's a super book. So anyway, let me get back to let's finish this. I feel like I'm limping to the exit line here, the finish line, but this was from the personal collection of Kevin Eastman, witnessed signature, and he drew a sketch on it and signed it. So where's the sketch? It's up here. You can see that he signed it in a gold Sharpie, and then he made a little sketch there of one of the turtles. So this is a pretty cool book, and not only did he sign it and draw something on it, but it was from his personal collection. I've been collecting Joker covers, and I really love these. These are modern Joker covers. This is from the series The Man Who Stopped Laughing, and this is cover number 6. And this is a 9.6. This was a variant cover, and look at that art, man. That is beautiful. God save the Queen, man. Really nice. And this was pretty cheap, and I think these were in a low quantity for the variant. I got a 9.6, and there's 7 of those on the census, and there's 45 higher, and I paid $52.53 for this book, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And then the last one is probably the gem in this update video. This is an original Green Lantern, Green Arrow cover. This is the first time these two guys worked together in a comic. And this was signed by the cover artist, Neil Adams, who was my favorite cover artist. He's my favorite artist. He passed away a year or 2 ago. There's his signature right there. This is a lower grade copy. It's a 4.0. It has a Denny O'Neil story. But this is a very iconic cover, and it has the signature, so that holds a little value for me. I paid $488 for that with shipping. It's pretty expensive. But there are 27 4.0s and 382 higher grades. So if you think about it, that's not really that much for a comic that's almost 50 years old. There's only, 382 higher than a 4.0, which, I don't know. I'm glad to have it, though. So those are my comics, and I'll go through my magazines and we'll end the video, since I feel like I'm limping here, guys. Okay, so we're at the last portion of the video. I'm just going to quickly show you guys these awesome covers, and you will have a choice or a chance to weigh in with your opinion, and if you'd like me to go through these again, and we can have a flip through chill video again, just let me know, and we can make that maybe a regular video series on this channel. Maybe like every Friday night I'll do it or something. We'll figure something out, but I've been starting to pick up a lot of these books lately. This stack here is Famous Monsters of Filmland, and I don't have too many, but I'll show you guys everything that I have. Just recently started picking these magazines up over the past month or so, past couple months maybe. So the earliest issue I have for Famous Monsters of Filmland is number 50, number 54, and if you guys are interested in seeing more flip throughs, just put hashtag monsters in the comment section. Here's number 57, and also don't forget to check out those links that I shared. Here's number 58. Here's number 61. Here's number 108. here is the 1966 yearbook. And the 1969, what are they calling this one? Fear book. And then I've been collecting these creepy magazines. The earliest one I have is number 23. $35. $49. $60. $65. $66. $68. $76. $81. This is my favorite cover here, 85. Here's another Christmas issue, number 86. $119. I believe there was a total of 145 or 146. Here's number 125. And the last one that I have, 129. It's from 1981. And this last little stack here is kind of a miscellaneous mishmash pile. This is Monster World. It had a 35-cent price tag. Here's another Monster World with the Addams Family on the cover. I have one here called 3D Monsters. This one's called Monsters and Heroes, put up by Acme. This is number 4. This one is from 1977 called Classic Horror Tales. These covers are beautiful. Here's one called Castle of Frankenstein. This is a modern book. I think this came out a couple of years ago. It's got a $7 price tag on it. This was the revival of Castle of Frankenstein. Here's one called Classic Horror from 1976. Classic Horror Tales. Jumbo size. And the last one is from 1977. Classic Horror Tales, another vampire cover. So that will do it for me, guys. Please do check out those links down below. Go over and give Meyer a sub. Go over and check out SavedByStiva and see if there's anything there that you guys are interested in. I'm sure you're going to find something you like there. And if you want, tell them Toddy Walnuts sent you to either of the two. If you'd like to see me open up those box sets, leave a comment down below. If I get enough interest, I'll definitely do that. And if you want me to do another magazine flip through, if you want me to make that a regular series on the channel, leave a comment down below that says #monsters. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. As always, thank you for watching. I do appreciate any views or thumbs up or comments. I really enjoy that. So for Miss Hannah, Miss Heidi took off already. I think she went in the living room. She likes to lay on the couch. That's going to do it for us, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.